children wake up to the work I've done. So I think it all comes from Jammu, and we have to be sure what we are doing. So when we were having a discussion, the chairman of KVMP said we should bring new voice. You are a bridge, we should create more bridges to the world. What is a new voice? I have known Dr. Ritu for some time, but also only as a head of an institution or
I'm a very emotional being, so I'm actually turned a little emotional just before I was going to speak. And yes, I think we are both. There was a time I was 19 साल की थी. First, let me just address everybody. I'm so sorry I got a little emotional. To our honorable chief guest, Vice Chancellor of the University, Umesh Shaiji. What you started with today, I mean, what I heard, the Jammu Riyadh, उसको सुनते ही मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो गए, because this is so needed, so needed. The day and the session has started with so much of hope, in itself. Professor Sucheta Pachania ji, Govardhan Singh Jawal ji, my dear friend, sister, I would say Poonam Jawal, who's flown in just for this lecture, वापस जा रही है नागपुर. I have some very dear friends in the Padam Shri ji, Mohan Singh ji, wonderful lecturers of this esteemed university, guests, distinguished guests, my lovely friends, including Esther, you can see Ankita sitting there, and many others, Madhvi, and also I met with this wonderful professor who's doing such incredible work, also for the radio and everything else, and many others in the gathering. Amar, who's actually comparing as well. Imagine a language so rich, so vibrant, that it forms the very heartbeat of a people. That language is Dogri. And his lifelong dedication to Dogri, Ghar is not just a collection of poems, but a reflection of the love he held for his roots, his land, and most importantly, his language. Through his portraits, he provided heartfelt advice to his daughters, speaking volumes about the importance of family, culture, and identity, values that resonate deeply within Dogri and the very ethic and fabric of being Indian. Kunwar Viyogi's contribution extends beyond his poetry. He was a pioneer. He was the first to write editorials in Dogri for the Dogri Times, giving the language a voice in journalism and ensuring its relevance in public discourse. His belief in Dogri was unshakable, and he used every platform available to him, even during his distinguished service as Group Captain in the Indian Air Force, to advocate in the preservation of our language. Poonam and Govardhan and the wonderful audience, Poonam and me obviously have something in common other than our roots in Jammu, that we are both daughters of men in uniform. My grandfather, my late Nanaji, late S.M. Srinagesh, was the third chief of this country. And I was raised right from my childhood, I think from the time I was born, to respect. Raja Lakshmi ji ने मुझे बहुत कुछ सिखाया. 19 साल की उम्र में मेरी शादी हुई थी, मैं एक छोटी सी लड़की थी, and I belong to different culture, Maharashtrian and Punjabi, a mix of both. But जब मैं आई थी, कोई 5-6 साल के लिए वो मुझे इंट्रोड्यूस करते थे तो कहती थी साडी नूं आई. But 7 साल के बाद उन्होंने कहा ये साडी लाड़ी है. So there's a difference between a daughter-in-law and a daughter. So I very proudly say I'm a daughter of the soil, and I am committed, married, until the rest of my life. I think I breathe Jammu, Jammu, Jammu. Yes. So, but his impact did not stop there. Kunwar Viyogi mentioned an entire generation of young writers. Many of the poets and authors we celebrate today found their voices because he gave them a platform to express themselves. He believed in the untapped potential of the youth and encouraged them to embrace their heritage through the written word. Today, his legacy lives on in the works of these writers, many of whom are now acclaimed in their own right. However, we must acknowledge that languages like Dogri, of this legacy, we have the power to reverse this trend and breathe new life into Dogri. And that brings us to the concept of Naya Jammu, a new Jammu, where tradition and modernity coexist harmoniously. Imagine a Naya Jammu, where the voices of our ancestors, हमारे दाद के, हमारे नान के, our great grandparents, echo through the streets, not only as whispers from the past, but as a living, breathing reminder of who we are. This Naya Jammu will be a place where our language, our culture, and our heritage not only survive but thrive. So, how do we achieve this? I just have a few suggestions. First is preserving historical sites. Jammu is a home to many historical sites that are connected to the Dogri language and Dogar land. These places are not just monuments of our rich heritage. Second point, tremendous work here. I just felt that, if we had maybe a newspaper, the university could perhaps, think about this. A few of us can get involved, and maybe it doesn't have to be a weekly, it could be a monthly. Something like after Punjab Kesri here, we can have a Dogar Kesri. We need to revitalize the media landscape by reintroducing a newspaper in Dogri. Kunwar Viyogi himself championed this that could take the fashion world by storm. Fashion is a powerful medium of expression, and by modernizing our traditional attire, we have many artisans also. बहुत सारे हमारे arts forms हैं जो extinct हो रहे हैं. So we must preserve, conserve, and respect that. We can make Dogri culture more accessible to the younger generation, both in Jammu and across the globe. Let's put Dogri fashion on the world stage. Reviving Dogri literature in schools. It's time to introduce. We also must bring communities together. Dogri is not confined to just one community. People from various backgrounds speak the language, and we must unite these diverse groups under the banner of Dogri. It's time to bring everyone on the same page to foster a sense of collective identity. We should proudly serve our traditional dishes at every social event and celebration without any hesitation. Meetha bhat, rajma, orya, kalari, thotru, kadam ka saag are not just foods, they are part of our identity. Let's take Dogri cuisine also to the world stage. So जैसे राय साहब आपने कहा कि Dogri rare, मैं कहती हूँ कश्मीरी वाजवान पूरी देश, everybody all over the world knows about it. How about